So, hello, good evening. And this is our fourth day and session number 1 in mental mathematics. So, here we are going to learn about the squaring techniques used in mental mathematics. So, in by learning this one, you can square a number easily, right? That means squaring a number means, first of all, we have to understand what is squaring. Squaring is multiplying a number with the same number again, right? That means if you are going to multiply like 22 times 22, right? So this 22 is also same as 22. So then if you are multiplying these two numbers together, and then we are calling that 22 square, right? So now what we need to do is we are going to square this number. When we are doing that, we saw that earlier in our previous session, we saw how to multiply the numbers that are ending with 5, right? So we saw that like maybe how we are going to multiply 45 times 45. It's very simple. I taught this to you earlier. If you are going to multiply 45 times 45, because they are same numbers as well as they are ending with 5, and then that will be very easy. What we have to do is we have to write always 25 over here, right? And then after we have to add 1 from this number. So 4 plus 1, that will be 5. From that 5, we have to multiply that 5 and this number 4, or this number, both are same name. So if you multiply them together, so 5 times 4, it will be 20, right? So that is how we calculate that square of that number. Very simple. Let me provide you another example. What is 55 square? It's very simple, right? 25 will always come like this. And then we have to add 1 from this number. So it will be 6. 6 times 5, it will be 30, right? So this is how we calculate. If you have any problems or doubts regarding this one, you can ask it to me. Okay, so can anyone say that how much the square of this 65? Can you say that? 7,000 how much? 7,000? How much? Yeah, let me allow you. Right, now you can answer. What is the answer for this one? Can anyone say that?
4,225.
How much?
4,225.
Yeah, 4,225.
Sir, excuse
Yeah.
me. I didn't do it by your easy technique. I just did it by the same thing. I don't understand what you were saying before. Can you explain it again?
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, that is why we are here. So the problem here is, first of all, that number that we are going to square should be ending with 5. That's the first criteria, should be fulfilled, right? So it should end with 5, right? And that should be multiplied with the same numbers, squared. That should be squared, right? We cannot obtain like 45 times 35. It's not going to work for this particular example. It will only going to work for the same numbers. That means 45 times 45. That is what we call squaring, right? But the criteria is it should end with 5. If it is ending like this, and then we are lucky. Why? Because we have a simple technique that can be applied for this multiplication or squaring, right? So what we have to do is always there should be 25 at the end, will come like this, always, right? And then we need to find the first digits, right? So if we are going to find the first digits, it's very simple. We have to obtain these 4, and we have to just add 1 from that 4. We have to add 1. So it will be how much? 5. And on that 5 and this 4, we have to multiply. right? So 5 times 4, it will be 20. And that is the answer. Maybe if I'm going to calculate 75 square, it will be 25 will come like this. We have to add 1 from this 7. So it will be 8. 8 times 7, it will be 56. That's how it is. Right? Now, hope you understand this one. If you didn't understand yet, you can raise your hand or ask me question. No problem. Yeah. Yeah, what is your question? Yeah, you can ask the question, Daryl and Sarah. So can anyone say that how much it will be 85 square? We have to add 1 from this number. So it will be 9. 9 times 7, how much? 72, right? So then,
70,
yeah,
7,220.
yeah, that's it. That's how easy it is, right? Okay. So that is a technique for ending the numbers with 5 and squaring, right? It's very simple. Maybe can you apply this one? Maybe what is the 115 square? Can you calculate this one? It is also very easy. We'll see whether you will calculate this or not. How can you do that? Can you explain it to me? Because the to do this one, we have learned from our previous classes. It's very simple, pretty much easy. So, okay, I can say that the final 2 digits will be 25. Okay, we know that. And then we have to add 1 from this 11, not from 1. We have to add 1 from this 11. If we add 1 from that 11, it will be 12. And then what we need to do is we have to multiply this 12 and 11 together. How can you multiply a number by 11? Do you remember that? How can you multiply any number by 11? It's very simple. Can you remember that? I told you in the earlier classes, if you are going to multiply any number by 11, we are lucky. Why? Because it's very simple. We have to, even a grade 1 year student can do this. It's very simple, right? We have to write the same number 2 like this, and then after we have to add these two numbers together, 1 plus 2, it will be 3. And then after we have to write the first digit like as it is. So it will be 1. It's very simple, right? So what is 52 times 11? How much it will be? 5? How much? 5? 52 times 11. How much it will be?
572.
Yeah, 572. Yeah, that's it. So like that, for this example, we can calculate that, right? For this example. So how much it will be? 12 times 11. It will be 2 over here. 2 plus 1 will be 3 over here. And then 1 will come like this. So this is the answer, 13,225. Likewise, can you calculate how much it will be for 125 square? Okay, 25 will come over here. And then we know that 12 times 13 will be multiplied. So 13 and 12, if we are going to multiply those numbers together, that is also very easy. Why? Because we have learned in our previous sessions, right? If you are new to the class, you can go through the previous sessions and watch these things. It's very simple. We have to multiply this and this together. So 3 times 2, it will be 6. And then after we have to add this 3 and 2 together, that will be 5. And then 1 times 1, we have to multiply them. So 1 times 1, it will be 1. So this is the answer. Even just I'm explaining you these things for the explanation purpose. This 13 and rounding up these things, These are for the explanations. If I'm going to do the calculation, it will be very easy, very quick, right? So let me provide you how much it will be. 135 square. How much it will be? Okay, 25 will come here. 3 times 4, it will be 12. So 2 will come here. 3 plus 4, it will be 7. 7 plus 1, it will be 8. And then 1 will come like this. This is the answer. 18,225. It's very simple. And you can go up to an extent, right? It's not a problem. Okay. Now we are going to learn another technique like near a noun number, right? As an example, if you are going to square any number that are near to a noun number. Noun number means like we know that square of that particular number. As an example, you know how much is the square for 20. It will be how much? It will be 400, right? So then 20 is called as a noun number. Now, if we are going to calculate a number that is near to a noun number, as an example, if we are going to calculate what is 21 square, and then that will also be easy, right? Let me explain you the technique or the trick, right? So then it will be easy for you to do the calculations. So now what we need to do is, it's very simple. Let me explain it in the slide. As an example, if we are going to obtain 32 square, because the 30 is a noun number, 30 square, it will be 900. So we know that. So now we are going to calculate 32 square. So to do that, we have to obtain that 30, that we have to obtain that near number, right? So how that can be obtained? That can be obtained by subtracting 2 from that number, right? So likewise, we have to add that difference from that number. Like we have subtracted 2 from 32, and then it will come like 30. So now we have to add 2 from 32. So then that will come like 34, right? So we have to do like that in mind, right? I'm just explaining you for the sake of explaining, right? Do not write anything when you are calculating these things. Okay, so now after doing this, what we have to do is we have to multiply those numbers like 34 times 30. Multiplying these numbers is very simple. Even we have seen that from our previous sessions. It's very simple. We have to obtain 30 times 30. Like we have to divide that number 34 times 30. We have to divide that 34 as 30 and 4. Right? So then we have to multiply them together. So likewise, if we do that, 30 times 30, it will be 900. And then 4 times 30, it will be 120. So then if we add them together, it will be 1020. Right? It will be 1020. That is how we exactly do that from our mind. These are from our mind, right? Okay. After calculating that number, what we have to do is we have to multiply these two numbers together, like the differences, 2 times 2. That will be equal to 4. After obtaining that number, what we have to do is we have to add those numbers, 1020 plus 4. So then the final answer will be 1024. That is the answer. So let me provide you another example so that it will be clear for you. I know that it's a kind of not understanding this one. So let me provide you another example so that you can understand it better. Maybe let's say we are going to calculate a number for 29 square. For this number also it can work, right? So like it's near to 30. So I have obtained 30 over here. So the 30 has been obtained by adding 1 from that number. So likewise, I have to obtain that number by minusing that number, like subtracting that same number. So then it will be 28, right? Then after, we have to multiply these two numbers together, these two, right? If we do that, how can we do that? 30 should be multiplied by 20 plus 30 should be multiplied by 8. That is how we do that if we are doing this from our mind, right? So maybe you can take out that 0 and then it can fly out. So then it should be 3 times 28. 28 times 3, how much it will be? 20 times 3, it will be 60. 8 times 3, it will be 24. So then it will be 84. And then after you have to recall that 0. So then that 0 will come like this. So 840 is the answer for this multiplication. After that, what we have to do is we have to multiply this number and this number, and then that will be 1. And then we have to add that number. So it will be 841. That is how we calculate that. Right? Hope even this may be kind of understanding. If I provide you another example, you will understand it more. Right? Maybe how much it will be for 42 square. Right? So we need to obtain 40 like this. And then if you obtain 40 from minusing that 2, we have to obtain like 44, not 38. Because minus 2 and then it will be plus 2 from this one, right? So it will be 40 times 44. Just take out the 0. So then it will be 4 times 44. So 4 times 40 will be 160 plus 4 times 4, it will be 16. If we add that 160 plus 16, it will be 174. And then we have to recall that 0 again and put it down here. So then the answer for this one will be 1740. But that is not the final answer. For the final answer, we have to multiply this number and this number together. So then it will be how much? 4. And then we have to add that number from this number. So then it will be 1744. So then that will be 1744. Is that clear for you, or do you have any problems yet? Still, if you have any question, you can raise your hand or ask me questions. Okay, if you don't have any question, let me provide you another example, maybe a question for you guys. So how much it will be for 41 square? How much? Obtain 40 over here, obtain 42 over here by subtracting 1 here, adding 1 here, multiplying 40 times 40, 42 how much? 4 times 42 how much? 168. 168. This 0 will be added like this. So then we have to add 1 from that number. So if we erase this number and add 1 here, so this is the answer. So 1681. Very simple. Right. Can you calculate how much it will be 202 square? Can you do that by applying the same technique that we have learned so far? What's the answer? 200 and 204. Why? Because I have subtracted 2 from here. So then I should add 2 from there. So then if I add 2 from this 202, and then it will be 204. Now we need to multiply these two numbers together. It's very simple. Double this number. 408, right? 408 is the answer. But here we have 2 zeros. So then those 2 zeros will be added like this. After adding those 2 zeros, we have to add the multiplication of this and this. How much it will be? It will be 2 times 2, 4. So that the answer will be 40,804. Very simple. Okay. If you have any question, let me, you can ask it to me, right? If you have any question, you can ask it to me. Okay. So without writing anything, can you calculate the answer? maybe how much it will be for 81 square? 81 square, how much it will be? Can you do that? How much it will be? 81 square. It's very simple. 82 times 80, just 8, okay. 8 times 8, 64. 8 times 2, it will be 16. So 64 plus 16, how much? Sorry, 8 times 8, it will be 640. And 8,
6,403.
yeah, yeah, let me explain. So it will be uh, 8 times 2, it will be 16. So if you add these two numbers, and 6, 5, 6 is the answer. But it is not the answer. We have to add 0 over here. And then after, we have to multiply these 1 times 1. So then that 1 will come over here. So then the answer will be 6,561. Is it correct? If I am wrong, you can correct it to me, right? Okay. So that is how we exactly do that. Let me provide you another tricky example for you. How much it will be 24 square? Can you do that? It's also simple. Same technique can be applied, right? Can you do that? How much it will be? You have to obtain 20, and then you have to obtain 28. So if you double this number, it will be 54, right? 54, 0 will come like this. After that, it will be 4 times 4. It will be 16. So that you have to add 16 from that. So then it will be 5, 5, 6, right? So that is the answer. So that is how we calculate that number. So I will provide you another
Can you explain that same question again, sir?
24, right?
The 21st.
Yeah, 24 square. I have to obtain 20 because it's near to 20. And then if I obtain that 20 by subtracting 4 from that, and then I have to obtain, like, the same number should be added with this number. So then 24 plus 4, it will be 28, right? And now the next technique is we have to multiply them together, this and this. So if you are going to multiply that 28 by 2, it will be doubling that 28, doubling that number, right? So 28 times 2, that will be 20 plus 20, 48 plus 8, it will be 16. So then it will be 56. We know that. 5, 6 is the answer for doubling this 28, but we have a 0 over here. So then the answer will be 560 for the multiplication of this and this, right? It's obvious. After that, we have to obtain that multiplication of the differences, like 4 times 4. 4 times 4, how much it will be? It will be 16, right? So then we have to add that number. So then it will be 6. 6 plus 1, it will be 7, and then 5, right? So this is how we do that. I think I have done it wrongly on the previous example. So this is correct, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
that was wrong.
Yeah. Okay. So this is how we do that. Okay. So the next technique that we are going to learn here is, this one is explained routing. Routing here, we are not going to learn that because it's not accurate. That routing technique, you are not going to learn that because that routing technique is not accurate. You cannot use that in your OL, right? So let me explain you another technique, another important and interesting technique, that is mirror technique, right? Mirror technique is, let's say we are going to multiply two numbers, right? We are going to multiply two numbers, but those numbers are mirrored to another number. Let's say like that, right? As an example, we are going to multiply 19 times 21. And as you can see here, it's mirror to 20, right? You can think like that because the center number can be 20. And by subtracting 1, it will be 19. By adding 1, it will be 21. They are multiplied together. If the scenario is like this, and then we can apply that mirror technique, right? So now let me explain the mirror technique for you. It's very simple. What we have to do is, let me, we have to square that 20. We have to square that mirror number. How can you square? It's very simple, right? Maybe it might be a noun number, or maybe it will be ending with 5. So I will explain you on another example so that you will come to know that technique. So now it will be very easy. We know that 20 square, it will be 400, right? Now what we have to do is we have to multiply those two numbers, -1 and +1, right? After multiplying them, the answer will be -1. There is a difference between the previous technique and this technique. In the previous technique, we have to add that number, but in this mirror technique, we have to subtract that number, that multiplication of the differences, right? So then that answer will be 399. That is the answer for this multiplication, right? Let me explain it to you another example so that you will come to know that. Right. So let's say you are going to multiply 29 times 31, right? As you can see, they are like mirror to 30, right? Because minusing 1, plusing 1, right? Subtracting 1, it will be 29. Adding 1, it will be 30, right? Now we have to square this number. That's it. So 30 square, it will be 900, right? It will be 900. After that, we have to multiply the differences, -1 and +1. How much it will be? 1 times 1, it will be 1. In this technique, we have to subtract that number. So then it will be 899, right? That is the answer. Let me provide you another example, like how much it will be 28 times 32. Can we apply mirror technique to this number? But that is where you have to check. Can we apply mirror technique to this multiplication? Yeah. Yes, we can apply. Why?
Yeah,
Because, yeah. What is your question?
because the both side 2 is
Yeah,
adding
we
and
can apply, right? Because from 30, 2 has been subtracted from that 30 and 2 has been added from that 30. Now the next step is squaring that number, squaring, right? Squaring that number. So 30 square, it will be 900. After that, we have to multiply these two numbers together. That will be 4. What we have to do? Add it or subtract it? Add it or
subtract.
subtract. So then that is the answer. How much it will be? 896. That is the answer. So let me provide you another example, like how much it will be 43 times 47. Can we calculate that? Is it possible? Can we apply the mirror technique to this example?
I think for 45, I don't know.
Yeah. We can apply that mirror technique, but the approach is different. Like, let me explain it to you. So this one, as you can see, they are mirror to 45, right? They are mirror to 45. But in just now in today's session, we just saw that how we are going to square that number that is ending with 5. We saw that just now before earlier. So we have to square this number, square, right? If you square this number, how much it will be? Always 25 will come over here, and we have to add 1 from the first digit, that will be 5. So 5 times 4, it will be 20, right? So we know that how to calculate that number ending with 5. We saw that. And after that, what we have to do is we have to multiply the differences, -2 and +2. We have to multiply them together. So then how much it will be? It will be 4, right? Do we have to add this number or subtract this number? What we have to do for this technique? Add it or subtract it? I didn't change
Sub,
anything. Yeah, we have to subtract. I didn't change anything. Just we have to subtract it. So if we subtract that, and then the answer will be 2021. That's it. Pretty simple. Same technique, but the squaring is, I have applied the technique for the square of this number. That's it. Right? So let me provide you another example. How much it will be 54 times 56? How much it will be? It will be like 55 square minus 1, right? So I can write it 25 and minus 1, it will be 24. 55 square, it will be 30. So that is the answer, 3024. Is it clear or confusing? Do I need to explain this again, or can you understand this one? If you have any question, you can ask it to me. No problem.
so I think the answer is wrong, sir.
Okay, let's check. So here it will be 55, right? So the mirror will be 55, minusing 1 and plusing 1. So always there will be 25 will come here if we are going to square this number. And then we have to add 1 from this 5. It will be 6. So 6 times 5, it will be 30, right? So now we have to add these two numbers, 1 and 1. So then it will be 1 over here, but we have to subtract that. Therefore, the answer will be 3024. The same, right? Okay, so how much it will be for 64 times 66? How much it will be? 24, 42. Is this correct? And how much is for 63 times 67? Same. Is it correct? And how much it will be for 69 times 71? How much? Yeah, it will be 499, 4900, 4899. So this is the answer. These are very simple examples. You can do that. Maybe how much it will be 49 times 51. How much it will be? Can you answer that? 2000? How much? 2000?
2499.
Yeah, 2499. 2499. That's it. Right. So what we have to do is we have to analyze that. We don't have to directly multiply those numbers. We have to analyze that whether we can apply the mirror technique or squaring technique or the technique that are learned from previous sessions, like 0 to 9, 10 by 11 by 12 to 19. Like what is the technique that we are going to apply? First of all, we have to identify that. We have to recognize if I provide you a number, and then you have to recognize which technique are we going to apply with it. After that, we have to apply that very suitable technique, and then we can come to know the answer, right? So that is how we do that. So I think the time will be going to end in 3 minutes. After that, we will take a 10 minutes break, and then we will continue the class next session today. So we will continue from that. So if you have any problem or question, you can ask it to me. If you don't understand anything, you can ask it to me, no problem. Okay, then how much it will be for 23 times 27? How much it will be? 600? Maybe let me explain it to you. Okay, this is how I calculate, right? Maybe my personal understandings. If I saw this number, I know that it's a mirror number to 25, and then I in my mind that will become like 25 square, right? So 25 square will always be ending with 25. But that 25, that differences, -2 and +2, will be subtracting. So then it will be 4. Therefore, the answer will become as 21 at the end. I'm just calculating the last 2 digits. However, whatever the number comes, that will be ending with 21. That I know, right? After knowing that, now I need to find out the first 2 digits or first 1 digit, right? So then I come to know that like it will be 2. So 25 square, it will be 2, right? So 2 plus 1, how much? It will be 3. So 3 times 2, it will be 6. So then the answer will be 621. That is how I calculate. Just explaining it to you for a minute, but when I'm processing, it will be 3 or 4 seconds, right? So that is how I do that. Maybe another example, how much it will be for 33 times 37, right? It will end with 21. I know that, right? Now I need to obtain this 3 and add it 1 from that. So it will be 12. So 12, 1, 2, 2, 1. That's the answer. 3 seconds, right? Right. That is why I ask you to practice these things. If you practice them, and then you will come to know the answer pretty quickly, right? So then we will take a 10 minutes break. After that, we will rejoin the class and continue there, right? Okay.